usually the way we behave. This is one of the reasons why many are not more blessed than what they are. Because God knows he's got to keep some of us poor if he's going to keep us at all. Times of prosperity are critical times, for there is always the possibility that the blessings of God may cause us to forget about God. And that was the precise situation with the nation of Judah. When they were in trouble, they would cry out to God and make God all kind of promises. God, if you get me out of this, I'll serve you, I'll love you, I'll be holy, I'll live righteous, I'll give, I'll tithe, I'll share. God, if you get me out of this predicament, you won't regret it. But when they get delivered, they forget the promises that they made to their God. But after a while, God grew weary of their behavior. And God pronounced a sentence on them that could not be revoked. Don't let God pronounce a sentence, a judgment on your life. You know, sometimes God does this. He says in Proverbs 29:1, he that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. And so learn to respond to the reproofs of God. And God rebukes us and reproves us in a number of ways. But after a while, if he does not accomplish by reproof what he wants to accomplish, then he speaks judgment on our lives and on our situation. And since God had revealed that Judah was going to be defeated, Jeremiah suggested to Zedekiah the king that they surrender to Babylon rather than fighting against Babylon, because God had already said they were going to be defeated. If they would surrender, they would prevent much bloodshed and they would prevent much destruction. But because Jeremiah spoke these words to Judah, he received a beating, he received criticism, he received imprisonment, he was thrown down into a mud-filled dungeon, and then he was thrown into the court of the prison. People did not want him to make such dour and pessimistic announcements. But after all, they felt that they were the chosen people of the Lord, and no matter what they did, God would not punish them like that. And there are so many people who feel that way today. My mother prayed for me, and I know God's not going to let me face destruction. I've been in the church for a long time. I know I'm not all I ought to be, and sometimes I'm just there while my mind and heart are elsewhere, but God loves me, and God is a merciful God. Yes, God is a merciful God. But God is also a just God and a righteous God and a God of judgment. But as Babylon beat Egypt into the soil and turned toward Judah to destroy Judah, the inhabitants of Judah began to realize that God was bringing down his judgment upon his people. But we should pause, however, to take note of God's grace. And even amid these judgments and sorrows, the many mercies that the Lord extended. Though Judah would be defeated, and though many Jews would be carried away into Babylon and into slavery, God promised, I'm going to restore you to your land again. Though I'm judging you, though I'm punishing you, my mercy is not totally withdrawn from you. I'm going to bring my people back again into this very land. He promised that after their nation had been punished, their nation would be restored. He promised that they would not be utterly destroyed, that God still had a future in store for them.